Hello everybody and welcome to the Assetto Corsa Formula 1 Championship. As we sit here quickly looking at the championship standings, you can see at the Drivers' Championships, Samuel Ivanov is still leading, but only by 3 points, with Timo Nathaniel very close behind him. In P3 we have Alex Halm on 43 points. Peter Jones in P4 with 38 points, and in P5 we have Fulvio Phoenix with 33 points. Very closely held top 5 right there. And as we swap to the teams championships, looking over here, we can see that Bijou Racing Honda are doing very well with 79 points, with over almost what's that number? Almost 20 point difference between them, with Breaking Point Racing on 61 points, 2012 Motorsport with 50 points in third position in the Constructors' Championships. Quail Racing of 43 points, tied on points with Force Tunisia in P4, and in P5 we have Minty Fresh Mugen with 37 points, and 1 point behind is Racetech Esports. So sort of heading into the midfield for the team championships, everything is very tightly matched. And going back to drivers quickly, going past the top 5 into P6, we have Max Romer with 30 points. We have Ohan Brady with 25 points, a new driver to the league. I would like to apologise quickly to him before we get into the racing, because I did not realise he was racing, and so do not have a skin downloaded for him. Anyway, in P something or another, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. P8 we have, where is he? Racetech Esports. Daniel Packel with 22 points. And in P9 and 10, we have the two drivers from Milamaj Motorsport of Jason Milanov on 26 points and Juan Gramage on 15 points. If we look, that team is currently placed in P7 in the Constructors' Championships with their combined 25 points. And now we make our way to the action, which is happening on track right now, with 1 minute left to go in qualifying, in practice even. With 1 minute left to go in practice, we have Odran Brady, not sure on the first name. We have Odran Brady with a 1 minute 6.794 in P1. Fulvio Phoenix in P2 with a 1 minute 6.961. P7 we have Timo Nathaniel with, let's get some audio there quick. Timo Nathaniel with a 17.146. Close behind him is Samuel Ivanov. With a 1 minute 7.161. Tina Curtis is in the pit lane at the minute, but she is 5th with a 1 minute 7.484. Victor Bernat is P6. Ooh, as he gets a little bit of a slide there into turn 3, out of turn 3, with a 1 minute 7.535. P8 we have Pietro Lunghi with apologies. In P7 we have Pietro Lunghi with a 1 minute 7.565, as that is the end of practice. As we look to the drivers that are left, everyone stopping on track. As my brother attempts to make the most noise he can right outside of my room. As that is the end of practice. With our slowest driver being Cadillac Crafter with a 1 minute 9.162. As we are now waiting for practice to begin. Hello. Sorry for a second, I'm just gonna have to quickly return to the starting soon screen due to technical issues. So we are back Just waiting to join the session. As you can see, we are joined the session. We hopefully have all of the drivers' skins now. There we are. We have the minty fresh skin of the slideshow when I'm in it. Great. Encoding overload. Okay, give me a second. I'm going to quickly leave and rejoin again, actually, just to test something. No, not. It'll be fine. I'm just gonna quickly troubleshoot, 'cause on stream you can probably see that it's just swapping between a lot of lag and not any lag, so I'm just gonna quickly that'll be as I tab into the game, it's lagging.
Fix encoding overloaded in OBS 2022. I'm gonna go.
As we I'll apologize quickly because we won't be able to select any Won't be able to ride on board with any drivers for their first laps. Actually, give me a second. If I hit drive, it just sends me back. So, okay. As we ride with Brady here, taking the final few corners. Or the slideshow. As he crosses the line, he sets a 107.2, so now I should be able to drive and see a few of these top drivers. Okay. As we're just watching qualifying now, I apologise for being rather quiet, I'm just trying to fix the issue I'm having where you'll notice where it will just become choppy and less choppy, and that is due to something. Oh, that's right, my GPU is 99ing. Makes sense. I'll just continue with how it is and just as we see, Cadillac Crafter got to 8th position. Fulvio Phoenix is on track, so we will watch off board with him. So I'm not sure if he is on a flying lap or not at the minute. I'm gonna guess not, as the timing is only telling us the difference between his fastest lap and the fastest lap, of which there is a 3,000th gap between him and P1, and then a 2/10th gap. As you can see, there's a 3,000th gap between P1 and 2, and then there was a 3,000th gap. Now it's a 300th gap even. Now it's a 3/10th gap. And then almost 5/10ths between P3 and P4. As Brady goes faster, Brady's gone to P2, being only 2/10ths off of P1. Fulvio Phoenix has made a mistake in turn 3. Well, most people call it turn 2 actually. He's made a mistake in turn 2, which may have cost him the lap. As we watch to see, will he beat his first lap time? It's turn 7, turn 8, and turn 9 and 10 are two very fast right-handers. Into the final corner. Oh, he's lost the rear end a little bit there. Is he faster? Probably not. And no, Phoenix is not faster as we watch Max Romer coming through turn 4 there. And down to turn 5 and 6 and 7. Don't know where the corners are on this track. I apologise for yawning now, I am tired. Yes, as into turn 6 we can go and see... No, it's not turn 6, it's turn 9 and 10. As we cross the line, he sets nothing faster than what's already set. As we watch on board with Samuel Livanov. Out of turn 2, good traction. Maybe the rear end slid a little bit, but everything seemed fine. Go down to turn 4, braking at about 75 meters, getting it into that curb, keeping it well within track limits. Keep to the right hand side, take quite a late apex for that corner. I would assume, and then just sort of hug the curb on the left here. Bit too much curb on the right there, I'd say. And then through turn 9 and 10, this could be returned to pit lane. It isn't. Through turn 9 and 10 there, to cross the line. I'm not sure what time he set there. That's one driver. Seems to be having connection struggles. We're going to watch Will KB in his Yuki Tsunoda inspired helmet, it seems. Or maybe Yuki Tsunoda helmet itself. But yeah, the lag issue I will not be able to fix without stopping stream, so I'll just leave it how it is. Sorry if stream doesn't look 100%, I'm trying to fix it the best I can. As that is Will KB spinning out. Sorry, I'm a bit not quite paying attention. I'm trying to fix OBS, but I can't, so I'm just gonna have it out. As that is Will KB spinning on the exit of turn 4 as we go to teammate Nathaniel, who is also on the exit of turn 4, but he has kept the car going. Going to turn 5 and 6, I don't know. 5 and 6. Get the track map up on my phone quick. Into the penultimate and final corner, 2 very fast corners. As he crosses a line to set a 107.946, putting him in position 9 for the for now. As we have 8 minutes and 48 seconds left in this qualifying session. Which drivers can improve and which drivers will struggle, we will have to find out. As we see Pietro Lungi going on his lap, taking quite an early apex there. Bringing the car out quite a late apex for that second one. The third corner doesn't really need an apex in that section of corners at least. The penultimate and final corner, a little bit wide in that final corner as he crosses the line. And that was an outlap, I guess. As Fulvio Phoenix sets the fastest lap of the session with a 1 minute 6.686. I'm going to bring up the Formula 1 circuit map so I know which corner's which. Okie dokie, I have it. The official Formula 1 circuit map. As we watch Lungi finishing his lap, that is a 1 minute 7. That was an invalidated lap, it seems. If we go to watching Fulvio Phoenix now, he's going through the final 2 corners, which is turn 9 and 10, which I was correct about. To not go fast, 1 minute 7.330. So we now watch Sarah Mulhavitov. That wasn't correct at all. But anyway, through turns 8 and 7 and 8. Catching a driver who seems to be on an outlap there, weaving a little bit to get some temperature into the tyres. Through turn 9, very nice, kept on track. Through turn 10, a little bit wide there. Will it be valid still? No. A little bit too wide the lap. Ooh, that was straight into the wall there. Samuel Ivanov has gotten very close. The top 3 all within 4/1000ths of each other, let alone 1/10. As the top 8 are all within 1 second of each other, and the top 3 seem to be in somewhat of a league of their own. As we can see, P4 is half a second away. P4 being half a second away from the front 3 of Ivanov, Phoenix and Brady. So this might be a sort of a 3-horse battle for the win. Unless someone else can pull some time out of the bag. And maybe even snatch pole position away, let alone a P1 to a 3. It's all very, very closely matched. As we see, Samuel is up on his time, 3/10 up on his time. Maybe 3 up on the pole time. As we go down to turn 4. Little bit of a lock up there for Samuel. And quite wide into turn 5. Turn 6 now. He's taking quite an sort of middle apex, which is very good. What we want to be taking. A little bit wide there on turn 8. But we'll have to see how he's doing. Pushing the car to its absolute limits. Taking turn 9 very well, keeping it within track limits. Through turn 10 he keeps it in. Is the lap valid? Will he go fastest? Samuel Ivanov goes fastest by 3/10. Ven would be shouting right now as this is his team, Breaking Point Racing. At the front of the timings with 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go still. Can Fulvio Phoenix catch him, or is this pole position for Samuel Ivanov? As there ooh, Phoenix getting very close there. Might have had to come out of the throttle a little bit just to not go into the back of the overdrive Honda car there. Or overdrive car powered by a Honda engine. As we can watch into turn 6 now. A little bit wide there into turn 7. Turn 8 is flat out, not really a corner. But anyway, turn 9 and 10. Turn 2 definitely isn't a corner on this track. Turn 9 and turn 10, very nicely taken, but can he get pole position or can he improve further past where he is? No, not on that lap. He sets a 1 minute 7.036, 4 tenths off, about 4 tenths off of the time that he set at the beginning of qualifying. As we look a bit further back down the pack, we can see we're on board with a Bijou Racing Honda car of Max Romer as he gets ready to start a lap, it seems, or maybe it seems to be starting a lap, or is he coming into the pit lane? As he returns to the pit lane, as we watch Victor Bernat beginning a flying lap into turn 1, braking at about 75 meters, taking a lot of curb, not quite crossing as far as he needs to go. And now he's making his way down through turn 2 up to turn 3. There are a few cars sort of slowing down on an in-lap maybe. As one car goes very wide, he's pushing all the way down to turn 4. Nothing to be left on the table. As he takes sort of the earlier apex, brings the car out wide into turn 5 where he brings it in, keeps it to the right for turn 6. You sort of have to hug the curb and hope for the best. Turn 7 is also a lot like hug the curb. There we are. The best did not come for him there. As through turn 8, into turn 8 he had a bit of a snap, so into turn 9 now. A little bit wide there into turn 10. Has he kept this lap? And if he has kept the lap, is it faster than the lap he set before? Is it faster than pole position? He slows down at the end there. As we watch on board with Samuel Ivanov as he finishes his lap. Can he stretch his lead any further? Or will he have pole position snatched away from him by Fulvio, Phoenix, or Brady? We'll have to see. As down into turn 3 we go with Samuel Ivanov. He's 7,700 down in this time. If he's still down, Phoenix is going slowly. Where it's happened there? He's returned to pit lane, it seems, or maybe he spun on the final turn. As the inside tyre locks there for Samuel Ivanov. Into turn 4, still continuing with this lap. Turn 6, he's 3 tenths down in his time. There's a lot of curb there. And Phoenix is stopped on track. I'm not sure he will be setting a time. Is Brady on lap? Brady isn't on lap. He's coming through the final corners. He's still 3 tenths down on the pole position time. Can he beat at least the time that he set before? He was too wide there. This lap will not count for him. And so at the end of qualifying, that is Samuel Ivanov in pole. Phoenix second. Brady third. And Mulvetov fourth. So we can see Cadillac Crafter actually still on the lap. So can he set a faster time than his 1 minute 8.3, which is almost 2 seconds off of the pace of the fastest driver in this session? Cadillac Crafter comes across the line to start a lap. Is that? I think that was finishing his lap. As this will be the end of qualifying. As there we are. As when qualifying ends, the car instantly puts the rear brakes on and does not let any throttle. He didn't put the rear brake, it just puts the brakes on, not allowing any more movement really. As we swap to panning around the car. As we slowly spin around our pole position car, we have Samuel Ivanov in P1, having set a 1 minute 6.396. Almost 3/10 behind him is Fulvio Phoenix. I realise I don't know what car Fulvio Phoenix is in. Fulvio Phoenix in the Force Tunisia Mercedes car. He's in P2 with a 1 minute 6.688, almost 3/10 behind pole position. And 3/10 behind pole position is Brady with a 1 minute 6.708. In P4 we have Sarah Milivatov with a 1 minute 7.068, 3/10 off of P3 and 6/10 off of P1. P5 is Tina Curtis with a 1 minute 7.22, 8/10 off of pole position. P6 is Victor Bernat with a 1 minute 7.3, 9/10 off. Very closely matched was Pietro Lungini in the Lamborghini Tech car with again a 1 minute 7.3, 5/1000ths off of the time set by the driver in P6. In P8 we have Max Romer with a 1 minute 7.43, set at 473, 1 second off of pole position. In P9 we have Daniel Soel with a 1 minute 7.524, and the reigning world champion actually of Timo Nathaniel is actually in P10 with a 1 minute 7.946, 1.5 seconds off of pole positions. Let's hope the racing skill of that world champion or driver's champion can pull him up the grid quite a bit, because his performance there probably wasn't up to standard with what he was expecting. As we can see the drivers just sort of talking, sort of pre-race chat with each other, congratulating each other on where they're starting, and just racing things. Just racing related things, but we'll see as we continue. As we look down the pit lane, we set up the most janky camera you'll ever see, looking down the pit lane. You can see most of the cars there, all nicely lined up. Some bigger gaps between cars than others, but it is what it is. So you can see cars doing little donuts post qualifying. So that is the, which car is that? 2012 Motorsport car there over Sarah Milovic. And not Fulvio Phoenix, and either Samuel or Antonio Robert, not quite sure. As we just sort of, we can now see that the drivers are lining up on the grid. So we are now get ready with 50 seconds to lights out. As we can see, Samuel Ivanov in P1, Phoenix in P2, the new Brady in P3, with Sarah Milovitov in P4, Tina Curtis in P5, Victor Bernat in P6, as we await 5 lights for this Austrian Grand Prix. So we can see 5, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, 6 lights. And away we go for the Austrian Grand Prix. The lights felt like they had been held for a little bit too long there. As we watch the driver in front, Samuel Ivanov keeps pole. Phoenix is having to fight to hold second place. As Brady's actually made the move on Fulvio Phoenix, but Fulvio has the slipstream again, as to the nature of this track. And into turn 3, Brady still has second place, and Phoenix is falling back as Sarah Milovitev is catching Phoenix. Tina Curtis a little bit further back as Phoenix is now in 4th place, with Samuel Ivanov pulling away from the pack. 7 tenths already pulled away. As we can see, it's an overtake there as Pietro Lungini overtakes Max Romero. It seems is this a slow start for Bernat actually, because that is a lot of places lost already. As into turn 9, Bernat may be looking at a move on Max Romero, but Zahn is looking very much up his inside. All very close there, 1/10 between them. Zahn locks up and goes off the track, but Bernat makes the overtake on Max Romero as he goes off the track also. So Phoenix has made the move back up into 3rd place now. As we can see, the drivers that have made the most positions gained is was that Will KB with almost 4 positions gained in this race. As Ivanov is slow, and Brady has caught him. Sorry, I was not paying attention. Brady has caught Ivanov, and now Brady is leading this race, with Timo Nathaniel seemingly no longer racing this race, or not wanting to race anymore, as he is DNF'd from the race. As Brady and Ivanov are side by side into turn 1. Brady was faster than Ivanov, and Ivanov had a horrible lap there. He was so much slower than Brady and Phoenix, setting a 1 minute 9.7 while they were setting 1 minute 9.3s, 1 minute 9.2s. We'll have to see as Ivanov locks up a bit there. Brady being able to catch him is that Will KB running side by side with the 2012 motorsport car of Sarah Milovic, as Bernat has made an overtake on Lungini. As we just need, there's so much to keep an eye on. Will KB now making an overtake here. Oh, he loses the rear a bit and loses track position. Is Cadillac Crafter close enough to make up much from that mistake? No, but Daniel Packel might be close enough to overtake the overdrive Honda car of Cadillac Crafter as he goes around the outside of turn 9. Need to lift off a bit, not to fly too far out the track. As he pushes the car to its limit down the straight, he's probably running lower wing maybe as he slows down there. Sort of not wanting to overtake Cadillac Crafter as he makes the overtake as Max Romero. And who is this falling down the grid here? Will KB, maybe. Someone made a lot of overtakes, and it's Sarah Milovic. Max Romero seems to be sort of making his way up and then falling back down the grid. As Braden Ivanov seems to be having a great battle here. Let's pay attention to the front of the grid for a little bit. There's now 3/10 between Ivanov and Brady. We've missed most of the overtakes at the front of the grid just because there's so much going on at the back. As Timo is in the pits now. Milovic making up more places. Phoenix has made a mistake and now he's in P8. Fulvio Phoenix, starting from P3, 2 on the grid, has made a mistake and is now in P8. If we look back to the front, as we have Brady leading this race. And we have Ivanov 6/10 behind, slowly, very slowly falling away, it seems, down the straights. But into the corners. Oh, as Daniel Paco is spun. He's made a mistake into turn 1 as Phoenix is now working his way back up the grid after a mistake in this race. As Will KB is very close on his tail. Only 1/10 between them. Less than a 10th between them as Will KB looks down the inside and he makes the move, makes a mistake, goes wide, and there's collision there. Max Romer hits Fulvio Phoenix. Phoenix is now spun. He's now down in P11 after collision with Max Romer. As Cadillac Crafter has now found his way up to P8, and Max Romer has fallen down to P10, and Phoenix has fallen to P12. Phoenix is off the track again. This is going to be a lot of work for Phoenix to be able to make his way back up. He may need to shorten this stint, but stretch another stint to be able to have any chance of doing well in this race. Antonio Robert, our position 2 driver's teammate. As there is 2 drivers off the track there. Was that collision maybe? Max Romer and Alexander's Phoenix. Phoenix has made the pit stop. Phoenix is in pit lane. Phoenix is in pit lane as Zahn seems to have made a mistake on track at some point, which has lost him positions. As the gap between Brady and Ivanov is slowly stretching, quite dramatically stretching and changing. So you can see the front 2 are very close together, 7/10. It's a big gap between them. He's close enough to DRS, but I'm not sure if these cars have DRS. Don't think they do. Maybe in future seasons we'll see working DRS. We watch on board with Tina Curtis, who is 5 seconds down the road from P2. But great race, sort of keeping it all clean in P3 is now Pietro Lunghini is off the track at turn 1. He's spun, losing multiple positions now. As we can see, Pietro losing a lot of positions there. As Bernat is sort of slowly closing Curtis. As everything is happening. As Victor Bernat is very close to Tina Curtis, fighting for podium position. We may be in the early stages of this race, only on lap 8 of 36, but still every position gain counts as Victor Bernat goes down the inside. And Tina Curtis looking down the inside there, and it's a collision as Bernat spins from a collision with Tina Curtis. And Paco Mulvitov is actually within striking range of him. As into turn 6 there, it's just losing a little bit of time, doesn't seem to have quite enough front end. To go into turn 8 as Paco is closing on Cadillac. As the rear end steps out a little bit there. That is sound of the game. If we look on board with Paco again. As we are right off board for a little bit. The TV cams that we should be on. where we can see a little bit more of the action. As everything is calmed down just that little bit in this race, nothing is certain. As Fulvio Phoenix, the first driver to take pit stops in this race, is in the last position, but only a few places off. As we look to see, the biggest gainer in this race is Will KB in P6 at the minute, starting quite far back on the grid. Starting P14, making his way up to P6 as Cadillac Crafter looks for... David Packard looks for a move on Cadillac Crafter there. And the biggest loser in this race... Oh, is Packard is off! Muller was also off. Where are we off here? Is that turn 1 it looks like? No, on the straight out of turn 10. Well, KB has made up now 9 positions to put him in P5. And sadly, the biggest loser in this race is Bernat makes the move on Tina Curtis. But sadly, as I was saying, the biggest loser in this race at the minute after 10 laps is Fulvio Phoenix. There's still 16 laps to go, so maybe he could fight his way back up for points. With his pace, he probably could do that. But I think making his way back up to a podium position would be a big struggle for him. But we'll just have to see how the race goes. As we can see here on the stops, the only driver to make a pit stop is Fulvio Phoenix. As we can see, the P3 is 12 seconds away from first place. The gaps only get bigger. First and second are very close, holding about 7 tenths. David Packer has made a mistake on the exit of turn 4 into turn 5. As Searle has also made a mistake out of turn 8. Lots of drivers making small mistakes as a driver into the pit lane here. Sarah Molotov has made a mistake and is now in pit lane. As we can see Antonio Robert, the Breaking Point racing car there, passing her. As we now watch the intervals between drivers, she comes out P10, position 10 on track. As we can see Phoenix making up positions after trying to make an undercut as Nicholas Zahn makes a few positions from pit stops. As we can see 2 drivers there side by side almost into the pit lane. Through the pit lanes, Cadillac Crafter and Max Romeo very close together there. Will Cadillac go for the move, or will he just sort of play it patiently, as we are sort of in the range where drivers starting on the soft compound of tyre may want to start pitting, it seems, as Bernat pits from P3. Bernat is in the pit lane. Let's just keep an eye on him on the timing boards to see where he comes out. Will KB, after starting 14th in this race and is now P4. What a drive from him. This may partly be due to pit stops, but oh, Cadillac Crafter getting a little bit of a Tokyo drift there out of turn 1. As he does well to keep it going forward, as Max Romer is actually now very close to Bernat in P5. As we can see, the gap between the front 2 is closing. Will Samuel be able to make a move on Brady, who's 4 tenths faster? Ivanov was 4 tenths faster that lap. Has he found pace in the tyres? Has he just sort of found extra pace? Has Brady made a few mistakes that lap? As he's looking down the inside, Ivanov, he locks up and goes wide. Not quite being able to keep the position there as Brady now pulls away with the better exit off of the corner. But very close between these two. This is the type of racing we love to see. 2 drivers fighting for the top positions in a race, battling it out almost wheel to wheel. As we can see, the brakes getting very warm, as they do on most racing cars, as Bernat has lost the position to Max Romer as he looks to maybe go around the outside there. as now it's just pure acceleration and traction here. As Romain, they'll side by side into turn 4 still. Can he keep it around the outside as Bernat makes the move and makes it stick? But going into turn 6, 7 and 8, can Max sort of close the gap a bit maybe? And just sort of go for a move? Not quite, it doesn't seem, no. As we watch on board with Samuel Ivanov to see how his race is going as Lungini. Before we watch Ivanov, Lungini is closing on Cadillac Crafter a little bit here. As Cadillac Crafter goes a little bit wide there, and the Lamborghini tech driver making full advantage of that mistake and getting past him as quick as possible, and now just hoping that he doesn't make any sort of moves that could take him out of the race. She doesn't. Now he is pushing ahead here, and Lungini is in P6 now, ahead of Cadillac Crafter in the overdrive Honda car. But Cadillac Crafter has not given him any sort of space. He's pushing him as hard as he can to keep that position. The Lamborghini tech car keeping it on the track. He was coming out of the dirty air quickly there. Going into turn 6 is now sort of 4 cars all within a second of the driver ahead. 3 cars all within a second of the driver ahead as Lungini into the pit lane. Is that? Who's that person? Lungini into the pit lane. As we can see Max Romain closing on the 2 drivers ahead of Antonio Robert and Cadillac Crafter. Sort of a battle for P6 here as Will KB is stopped on track. The driver that had such a good race start is now off of the track as Antonio Robert makes a move down the inside but locks up, goes wide. Was that a collision with the driver behind? Was that a collision maybe? Looked like a bit of a jolt, but that may have just been him hitting the floor, hitting the curbs. As Max Romain has made full advantage of these two having a bit of a calamity. We can now see Robert is past Cadillac Crafter, but Sarah Milovitov in the 2012 motorsport car getting very close there. 3/10 between each driver. There's only a 10th between the overdrive car and the 2012 motorsport car here. Let's see, will they go for an overtake? Not quite yet. Oh, as they both make a mistake, but the overdrive car spins. Coming out of the corner as Samuel Ivanov is closing each lap very slightly as they both pit. For the front two are pit, the front two are in the pit lane. Can they stay ahead of Tina Curtis in P3? We'll have to see as we watch on board with a Breaking Point racing car. No, let's go on board with a Minty Fresh car to see can he stay ahead after pit stops, or will Ivanov go further, go for a faster pit stop? They're both moving now. He stays ahead of the Breaking Point car, and they do they stay ahead of Tina Curtis? Not quite. Ivanov is just behind. 3 cars down now. He's lost a lot of time in that pit stop there. He's lost, what, about a good second just to the driver. He's lost a lot of time there. And now Tina Curtis is in P2 and Ivanov in P3, but Tina is yet to pit as Antonio Robert pits. As we can see, Fulvio Phoenix is making his way up very close to Cadillac Crafter, the driver ahead. Was that a driver stopped on track there? Am I seeing things? There's a good possibility of that. As Phoenix makes the move on Will KB to get past him, it seems. maybe it was just when he overtook Antonio Robert in the pit lane. So you can see the front four now crossing the line to start lap 18 of this race. The top three. Oh, it's top four. Is that top four? Very close with Bernat. Bernat is away behind. That is a lapped car. There's Tina Curtis. Moves out of the way of Samuel Ivanov. Not wanting to fight too much with him there. Just sort of letting him get on with his race as Tina gets on with hers. There's, I'm not quite sure on anything too specific. But yeah, keep an eye on Discord chats as this race continues. As you can see, Will KB passes Cadillac Crafter there. Cadillac Crafter not having the greatest lats. He may have been in the pit lane there. But Will KB is having a great race as Antonio Robert is almost overtaken by the Euro Proton car there of Daniel Soul. As Daniel Seal is still very close to Antonio Robert, but looking to the front of the grid, Samuel Ivanov has lost. Oh, is that a driver going off there? As Brady was off. Brady is off of the track. He's made a huge mistake there, and he's lost 2 positions and broken his front wing. We saw the minty fresh car come across our screens there. We did not know who it was, and now we know. That was our race leader, as he's broken the suspension on his car and is now having to nurse it back to pit lane. Is that? Yes, the front right, it seems, is a little bit broken, and maybe even more of the car, as he seems to be struggling to turn the car a little bit there. So we now look to the front of the grid. Tina Curtis is leading this race. Samuel Ivanov in P2, but the driver started in P2 and then has led for most of this race. Brady has made a mistake and is now in the pit lane, and may even struggle to get a top 5. He may not struggle to get a top 5, but may only get a top 5 and not the race win he may have been hoping for here. As we have 3 drivers retire from this race, one being due to technical issue, and 2 being down to small mistakes with the car that have just completely put them out of contention, as Tina Curtis is losing a little bit of time to Samuel Ivanov, but is actually faster per lap. So could we see Tina Curtis win this race, or will it be Samuel Ivanov winning? We will have to see. As the gaps sort of opened up a bit in this race. Now there's not really much close contention racing anymore, as sort of drivers have made small mistakes and drivers kept it going, as Tina Curtis is into the pit lane. now for her first stop of the race, I think. That's the first stop as Bernat passes her, and P2 now is Bernat. And Tina Curtis is on her way out of the pit lane, with Max Romer very close behind. No, actually, everything's very much open. There's not much to look at on track. Ivanov now has quite a dominant lead on the race with over half the race gone. There's not half of the race to go, as we're on lap 22 of 36. Thank you to everyone who's watching. I don't know how many people are watching or who is watching, but thank you for everyone who is watching as we watch Pietro Lunghi, 4/10 behind Cadillac Crafter and the overdrive Honda car there, as we could see an overtake happening at some point in this lap with 13 laps left to go. We can see that Max Romer is into the pit lane for one of his stops. Actually, let's see how many pit stops each driver has done. So we look at the progress from each driver first quickly, as we can see Will KB still the most profiting driver at this race, 7 positions gained. As Lunghi makes a bit of a mistake, and who is that? Was that Cadillac Crafter? Cadillac Crafter spinning, it seemed, in his way into the pit lanes. Fulvio Phoenix is in the pit lane as well. This is a second stop for Phoenix, and Brady unfortunately had to make a second stop due to damage to his front wing and suspension. As we can see, Fulvio Phoenix in pit lane there, and now in P11. He's gonna have to push as fast as he can to try and win this race. And well, looking at it, this is motorsport, and anything can happen, and anything has happened here. So we've seen sort of the race started, and Samuel had a somewhat dominant lead in qualifying, 3/10 ahead of the rest, and then into the race he kept the race lead for 2 or 3 laps, but then Brady was just able to catch him on a small mistake he made and get past him. But P3 we had Fulvio Phoenix, but then Phoenix made a mistake which put him out of contention, and then lots happened. Everyone sort of slowly made their way up. There's doing well now. Will KB has had quite, I would say, a quiet race, but lots has happened there. KB has had a good race. Well, KB has had quite a good race, as Brady now has made his way up into P4 there, passing the 2012 motorsport car of Milovitov. I don't know how to say that name. I apologise if I'm pronouncing it very wrong, but pronunciation isn't my strongest point, as Phoenix makes his way up into the points, making his way into P10 there. Will the Czech driver be able to get past Brady, or is he just found something in the setup, or maybe he's just too fast of a driver? But I don't think that she'll be able to pass. As now Curtis may, looking at how many laps left, there are 10 laps left. Will Curtis be able to keep her P3? Or will Brady catch her in time? We'll have to keep an eye on the timings there, as Daniel Pacquiao pits, and Cadillac Crafter is just ahead of us, who is a lap down. as Robe there seems to have made a mistake slightly and is going slowly out of turn 3 there, as we now wait the antagonizing 10 laps to see how this race will finish. And this being an online series, it's a lot more, it's more like a spec series than something like the real life Formula 1, where each team will improve the car and each team is better at the setup. In this, it's either each driver, or with it being an online race, the sportsmanship, each driver would share their setup, just so that the drivers that may not quite have the pace are able to push and be as fast as they can, the fastest they can be, or maybe the faster drivers have the same setup, so it's just their skill. So those fast drivers would know the little ins and outs of setups and sort of what in a setup works best for them to get the best out of a car, compared to drivers who may not be able to quite find the setup correctly, and maybe can find a setup that they can drive consistently but is 2-3 seconds off of the pace. As we can see now, the race has calmed down quite a lot. Will KB now in P5, 9 positions up, as he started 14th. No matter where he finishes today, he will be up on his starting position, as we've had 3 drivers DNF, leaving 12 drivers still remaining in this race. As a sort of the top 4 now, top 3 have sort of pulled away from the pack, but Samuel Ivanov has just pulled away from everyone. I saw a meme recently, a real life Formula 1, where it's like Red Bull is Formula 1. Was Bernat is in the pit lane. Bernat is in the pit lane. And means Curtis takes P2. Yeah, anyway, back to what I saw earlier. Hopefully Cadillac does give up position. Yes, he does. That was Red Bull being Formula 1, and then sort of Ferrari down to like the top, or like second to fifth, I think. Second to fifth were sort of Formula 1.25. Then Formula 1.5 was like 6th, I think, down sort of 6th down to 9th, and then Williams were Formula 1. No, it was 6th down to 9th was Formula 1.75, and then GP2 engine was Williams. Actually, I'll try and find it quick on my phone, but I don't think I'll be able to find it. But that's what it feels like here. You've got sort of Samuel Ivanov, who is Formula 1, and you could probably fit Phoenix and Brady into that as well. And Formula 2 and Formula 1.25 would probably be sort of, at least for this race, Curtis Bernat, Will KB, and the number 79 car of Sarah Milovic. I'm not saying that right. I know I'm not saying that right. As I'm sorry for my quietness, I'm not good at filling air, but Milovic here is closing on Will KB, maybe taking Will out of the top 5. As I'm cannot seem to find what I was talking about just now, but yeah, it seems to be that you sort of have Brady, Ivanov, and Phoenix, who are sort of in a league of their own with their pace. They were 3/10, the slowest of those three, but still 3/10 faster than P4. And Ivanov is in the pit lane. Will he be able to stay ahead of Curtis? Yes, he will. As this has been quite an eventful race, as we now have 6 laps of the race to go. 6 laps of the race to go. And we have completed 31 laps. Why do I have no audio? Is that just me, or there isn't any? The audio has gone. I'm sorry for this. There seems to have been a slight technical issue, but we will not have any audio for the rest of the race, it seems. I'm sorry for that. No more hearing the lovely V6s. I think it's V6s. I'm not sure which year we're using, but I'm going to guess it's the V6s screaming around this Austria track. Everything's gotten a bit quieter. And normally, in real life, it'd be if you hear silence on a racetrack, something's bad happened. But sadly, or happily, that isn't the case. Sadly, in real life, that is a bad thing. As Curtis has made a mistake, Curtis has spun. Now is in P3, could lose another position. No, Curtis holds P3, keeping themselves in contention for the podium. So, to replace the audio we've lost, I'm just going to put a little bit of my starting theme music on. Max Romer, actually, I've noticed, is getting very close to Will KB here. As Brady, after a big mistake there, going ages ago, big mistake going off at turn 5 on the exit of turn 7 and turn 8. Or Will KB has made a mistake and he's into the wall on the final corner. With 4 races of this lap to go, 4 laps of this race to go, he has put it in the wall there. As I make sure that you guys can hear the music that's playing, just so that it isn't a completely silent race now. Let's play slightly faster music, maybe. Not quite sure. I haven't listened to all of this. I'll just play the hi-fi music that I listen to regularly when I'm watching racing. So we can see Pietro Lungini in his Michael Schumacher inspired helmet. I think that is. It's the Michael Schumacher inspired helmet in a Lamborghini tech car. It's made a mistake. Is now only in P10. So you can see Bernat is closing to almost under a second to the driver ahead, which is Will KB, but he is not quite there. He's there. He's under a second. Will KB is losing a lot of time. He might have a lot of front wing damage. He's lost a lot of time in those 2 corners there. Bernat was 2 seconds faster on that lap, and it was his fastest lap and maybe a race fastest lap. Not quite sure. 1 minute 8.0. We'll have to see what the fastest lap of the race has been. But fastest lap was Samuel Ivanov just now of a 1 minute 7.049. As he just continues to stretch his pace, stretch the gap. He was 1.2 seconds faster than Brady on that lap. And is Curtis closing on Brady? Not quite. There was another 1.1 seconds between Brady and Curtis's pace on that lap, as Bernat has made the move on Will KB. As we watch to see, can he find his way back up to the front, or will he just slowly slip down now? Maybe the tyre wear is a bit too much. I think he started on the softer set of tyres for this race. I'll actually go over now what the tyre choice for this race was. I'll go over what the tyre choice for this race was. I should have done that at the beginning of the race, but I didn't. but the softer option of tyre for this race, and then switched. Oh, he went for the option tyre, and then he went for the optimal tyre. I think that's right. I don't know. I think it's different in IndyCar. It's like the optimal tyre is faster than the alternative or the option. So I will keep half an eye on the racing as Lungini. Lungini is spun and Phoenix is only at 8 tenths off. Lungini is spun there. Where is that? That is turn 1, on the exit of turn 1. He's on the racing line, and there is a collision there with a 2012 Motorsport of Sarah Milovic, who's in P4. As major suspension damage there. Is that major suspension damage? Could be. So we watch on board. Yes, that is major suspension damage for Milovic, and she's out of this race because of a back marker spinning and being on the racing line. There's nothing they can do there. As that is, sadly the end for their race. They were having such a good race. They have slowly made their way up. They're in P4, where now Max Romer is. But it was such a great race for them, and their back marker, I was a bit precarious the fact that he'd sort of brung himself onto the racing line and then was trying to bring himself over to the opposite side of the track. As I have only just noticed, Samuel Ivanov is on the final lap of the race. We'll just ride and watch with him. As we can see, Ivanov, from starting first, losing first place early in this race actually, and then our leader making a mistake. He's had quite a consistent, dominant race on most parts, and congratulations to Samuel Ivanov, who wins the Assetto Corsa Formula 1 Austrian Grand Prix. Samuel Ivanov is our race winner, and Brady here starting the race in P2, starting the race in P3, making his way up to P2, and then making that mistake. He finishes the race and comes second. And then we have Tina Curtis here, who I'm not quite sure where they started. I could probably go to progress and find out. I need to not skip it. Maybe that'd be a good thing. If we go to progress, they made up 2 positions. They started 5th. Now she's 3rd. Max Romer had a great race, starting 8th and making his way up to 4th. And Bernat as well through the penultimate and final corner. Could Phoenix catch him? No, there's not enough time. Phoenix just outside of the top 6 after a great qualifying in P2. Disappointing race for Phoenix. As you can see, drivers celebrating however they finished. As Will KB comes over to cross the line in P7. Cadillac Crafter has already finished his race. So has Antonio Robert, as Will KB is the last driver to finish the race there. Congratulations to them. As we now go to driver interviews. It says just me today, so I'll exit out of the racing. I'll stop the music that would be distracting you all, and I now quickly ask for driver interviews. Hello, Samuel, how are you? I was just going to ask for interviews. Yeah, that was it was a great qualifying from you at the beginning of the race. You were 3 tenths before the race. It was 3 tenths faster than second place. Mm. Yes. How do you feel that race went for you?
We were pretty close on pace, and he was my true rival today. But unfortunately, a back marker, I think, killed him. I was waiting for him, but unfortunately, he pitted because of the damage, and there was nothing I could do about that. But these things happens. This is racing, and sometimes it's only just on luck. I DNF'd in Austria because of the of a back marker.
Mm.
So in the end, uh, you should be happy you didn't DNF, mate.
Mm.
At least this,
Yeah.
you got some good points, and you were really strong today. So
Thank you.
Because we had an incident very near the end of the race where the Czech driver Sarah Milovic was actually caught. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but Sarah was caught by a back marker who had spun then reversed onto the racing line, and then tried to come over and just was completely taken out of the race. Suspension was completely gone. There was no way for her to continue. But that was a great race from my perspective. You were struggling sort of through the middle of the race, and then all we saw on stream was Brady just sort of came across our screen on the entry to turn 8, and I didn't actually see the incident, but it was sad to see the driver who'd led the race for so long to then be sort of in the gravel losing multiple positions. But yeah, racing is racing, as you said. And congratulations for your win. And Samil, without
Thank
saying
you.
yourself, who is your driver of the day?
Ohran for sure. He was flying. He really impressed me. Not only today, but I think you won in Tunisia.
Mm.
So this was really impressive from you as your second race here.
Thank you.
So you're my driver of the day, and
Thank you very much.
congrats to Tina for her third place.
Okay, now as we move on to Orhan, how do you think that race went in your eyes?
Uh, it was a good comeback. I didn't expect to have the pace, but yeah, it was good. Got into the lead. We had a bit of a battle, me and Samuel, and very close. It went all right in the end. It's just a shame it ended how it did.
Hmm. Yeah, I think if we had maybe 5 or 6 more laps, do you feel you could have caught him, or was his
No.
pace just too much?
No, because he had a pit stop ahead. He took the pit stop.
Hmm.
There was no way I was catching him. He was flying.
Yeah, okay. Are there any moments of that race that you think was sort of your best driving, or sort of like, do you have a favorite point of that race?
Probably after the incident put me out of contention. I think I was constantly nailing down 107 sevens, 107 eights. Just trying to get back up to the podium at least, but no, it went well at the end.
Yeah. Without saying yourself, who would you say is your driver of the day?
Obviously Samuel, we raced really clean, went very well, and I enjoyed battling with him.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you.
Driver.
I think you've lost a driver.
Trying to get Tina back in, see if she can do an interview. Ooh.
I want to just say it for the chat in the Discord. I don't think there is a problem to if you think someone is at fault. Say what you have to say if you will feel better, but it's racing. It's the adrenaline, it's the in that moment you are really furious. So I understand why people are salty sometimes. I am salty sometimes, but this is racing and everything is okay. These things are happening.
Mm.
Hmm. Yeah, agreed.
Hello, Tina. Congrats on your third place. How do you feel that race went for you?
Honestly, I feel like that could have gone a bit better, but overall, I'm kind of happy with my third place because I certainly wasn't expecting it when I started that race. So,
Mm.
mhm.
Because yes, you had there was quite a big crash from Fulvio Phoenix sort of halfway through that race that completely
Yeah.
took him out of contention. But yes, you had quite a good drive there. I think there was one or two small mistakes, or there was one mistake where you spun off the track, and I was wondering if you'd be able to keep your third position, but you were, and you sort of had the pace today. And so, without saying yourself, who would you say is your driver of the day?
Honestly, I'd probably give it to Brady, honestly, because he did a great race as well. Great race as well. Apologies for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, congratulations to all three of you for the podium, and thank you for the interviews.
Thanks
You're
for having
welcome.
us. That's an Irish
Thank you.
2-3. Oh yeah. I have a point for that one. Thanks very much. I'll leave you.
Goodbye. Have a good evening.
Good night, everyone.
And that will wrap up our final. That will wrap up the race. That was quite an eventful race, all up until probably the last. There was always an eventful race. There was sort of some sort of empty sort of 5 laps every so often, but overall, that was a very eventful race. Congratulations to all the drivers that finished. And good luck for the next race to all the drivers that didn't finish. And I will see you. Actually, when is the next race? That is the wrong one. Race calendar. The next race is in Hockenheim on the 23rd of September. So next week. I'll see you next week for the German Grand Prix at Hockenheim. Thank you all very much for watching. I've been Ethan Mills. I've commentated on my own tonight. Hopefully next week we'll have Venuzanov. Hopefully we'll have Ven next week. And that will be it from me. Have a very good evening. And enjoy your evening. Enjoy any more racing you will see or any more racing